This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, the family of a teen stabbed to death by Dunedin doctor say they'll have to move on from the double tragedy somehow. Otago Polytechnic Arboriculture students celebrate the end of year courses with a big climb. And a couple of rowdy Dunedin bands have teamed up recently to hold a gig to raise money for charity. Kia ora, good evening. I'm Daryl Baser. The family of a teen stabbed to death by a Dunedin doctor say they'll have to somehow move on from the double tragedy. Lisa Ann Rush found her daughter, 16-year-old Amber Rose Rush, dead in the bed of their Corstorphine home on February the 3rd last year.
The jury of 10 men and 2 women found 32-year-old Vinod Scantha guilty of murdering 16-year-old Amber Rose Rush at court in Dunedin last night. Amber Rose's father, Shane Rush, spoke briefly to media following the verdict, describing his daughter as a young hero.
Kia ora. The family would like to thank the police, the detectives for all their hard work. Also to the judge, the jury and the prosecution for the time and effort it took to get some justice for our beautiful young hero.
Lisa Ann Rush found her daughter Amber Rose's lifeless body on the morning of February 3rd, 2018. And the horrible discovery, along with the developing investigation into her daughter's murder, was too much for her, as Lisa Ann Rush was found dead in a suspected suicide 4 months after discovering her daughter's body. With family and friends in tears behind him, Shane Rush said it's been an incredibly tough time for them all.
This has been such a horrendous time for us all, for all the family. We're very thankful for everyone out there who has helped us individually and as a family to get here.
Reporters in court described Vinod Scantha as standing dispassionately in the dock as the verdicts were read. Scantha was also convicted on 4 counts of threatening to kill and remanded in custody to be sentenced on March the 6th, 2020. Fighting back tears, Shane Rush said Scantha's actions have robbed family and friends of 2 wonderful people.
The taking of Amber Rose's life has affected our family in every way. 2 family members are now gone, and everyone else somehow has to find a way to move on.
When asked, Rush said the family wouldn't be answering questions, and the group, many of whom still in tears, walked away from the courthouse. Scantha's defence counsel, Jonathan Eaton QC, refused to comment on whether they would appeal the verdict. In Dunedin, The South Today.
The trial closure of the Octagon is being reviewed after stakeholders have raised concerns with the Dunedin City Council. The move to fully close the Octagon for 2 weeks early next year and partially close it at other times has sparked an outcry from local businesses. Shops and bars are concerned about lost revenue and transport operators are worried about health and safety. Based on the feedback, the council is now reviewing the project with an update set to be provided to stakeholders early next week. More than 40,000 cruise ship passengers are were expected to visit the city during the closure period, with buses having to instead stop on the busy State Highway 1 outside Toitu. Each year, the Otago Polytechnic Arboriculture students finish their course by climbing New Zealand's tallest tree. Otago Daily Times reporter Jacob McSweeney, who took the course this year, gives his take on what the view is like from the top.
Standing at 80.5 metres tall, this Eucalyptus regnans at the Orokonui Eco Sanctuary is New Zealand's tallest tree. Each year, the students from the Otago Polytechnic Arboriculture course complete their studies by climbing the tree. Otago Daily Times reporter and Otago Arboriculture student Jacob McSweeney was one of the brave new arborists who took on the large tree this week.
It was really cool. I had to make sure that I kept looking up and at a level and not so much down, and it was just sort of amazing, sort of coming up the rope, and as I'm coming up I can sort of see all the other large gum trees all around me.
McSweeney says the first 40 metres are the worst and there are no branches to block the view of the ground. Before this climb, the tallest tree he had scaled was a 25-metre pine tree, and the regular gear checks for this climb went ahead as usual.
All of our ropes are used for climbing only, and they're regularly checked, inspected for any issues, any concerns.
To get to the first branch, the students needed to use a device known as a big shot, a type of slingshot that sends a thin line to the branches of the tree, about 40 metres up. McSweeney says at the top of the tree there's a nice spot to stand and take in the view.
It's sort of a real adrenaline rush because you're so high up and you've achieved this thing that, you know, you had to overcome a lot of nerves to do, and yeah, it felt really good.
The very top of the tree is too thin to hold the weight of a person, so a 5-metre long stick is used to measure the height. Based on this year's measurements, the tree has grown about 40 centimetres from last year. In Dunedin, the South Today.
2 climbers who were overdue have been rescued from the side of Mount Earnslaw near Glenorchy this morning. Police say the pair were reported overdue yesterday afternoon. Alpine Rescue Team member Chris Pruden says that they were found this morning at Esquillant Bivouac on the side of Mount Earnslaw. The pair are understood to be safe and well. Pruden says 4 people from Queenstown went to the site to locate them after the alarm was raised by somebody else. A couple of rowdy Dunedin bands have teamed up recently to hold a gig to support a local charity. Ajax and the Washing Up and Infinite Justice held a show earlier in November to raise money for an issue which has affected the band members.
A couple of Dunedin bands recently held a fundraising gig to help out the Life Matters Suicide Prevention Trust. Ajax and the Washing Up were one of the bands taking part, and a couple of members wandered into Life Matters Hope Centre today to hand over the money raised at the gig. Frontman Potley Mosley says he has very personal reasons for supporting the organisation.
A lot of people are struggling out there. I mean, I struggle with suicide every day because of my back issues, but if we can, you know, a lot of people can't afford it. So if we can raise a bit of money and do some good, that's what rock and roll is all about.
He says playing music is a therapeutic way of taking a break from life's problems.
Well, that's, you know, when we play, you forget about everything. You know, everyone forgets about everything and you're just having fun. If you could harness that and put it into an everyday situation, you'd help a lot of people.
The bandmates handed over $500 to Corinda Taylor of Life Matters, and while Potley wishes it was more, Corinda Taylor says it'll help pay for therapy.
That's fantastic. I'm overwhelmed. I thought it was $2.50, he told me, but it's actually $500. So that could help one person through 10 sessions of counselling or therapy.
She says a massive thanks to Simon, Potley and Red of Ajax and the Washing Up, and Infinite Justice, as well as the Crown Hotel, who hosted the event. She says the donation is especially appreciated as Life Matters doesn't receive ministerial funding.
We don't get government funding and we need to pay our rent, and most of the work is done by volunteers, so it is hard going, but we want to help our community. So just want people to know local money that's raised locally will be spent locally.
Taylor says it's especially great when men open up and ask for help, as males are overrepresented in New Zealand's suicide statistics. Potley says playing a fundraiser for Life Matters is definitely something they'll look at again. In Dunedin, the South Today.
And still to come on the South Today, we catch up with the latest in fashion from Otago Polytechnic students, and some young country music artists take part in a recent Country Music Awards. We'll see you after the break.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Lana Castle is proud to showcase their new retail space. Simply purchase an annual garden pass for year-round access to the garden, cafe and gift shop, or apply for a host card giving you full access to the castle, ballroom, cafe, gift shop and garden when accompanied by a full paying guest. Check out the website for full terms and conditions.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
Nau mai anō, welcome back. With the academic year wrapping up at Otago Polytechnic, fashion students have taken the chance to showcase their designs. Graduating third year Bachelor of Design Studies students showcased their garments to the public at Collections 2019. Held in the Polytechnic's Hub building, the graduating students sent their latest fashions down the catwalk in a display of talent and creativity. Highlights from first and second year students, postgraduate and master's students were also exhibited. Lecturer Tracy Kennedy says the brief for students was broad, and as a result their personal aesthetic and philosophy shone through. Following on from last year's successes, the Dunedin Country Music Awards came back for a second year. The now annual showcase of both emerging and established country music artists from across Otago and New Zealand.
Back for another year. This year's Country Music Dunedin Awards followed on from last year's inaugural event, giving both budding and experienced country music singers from across the South Island the chance to perform with a high calibre backing band.
I know it's been a while, but Lord, please hear my prayer. I need you.
This year saw the event extended to 3 days of auditions for the audience to enjoy, wrapping up with a final show on the Sunday night. Held at the Wingatui Function Centre, the highest accolade of the night went to one of the senior female solo vocal performers.
And the winner of the senior overall, Lana Stevens.
Channel 39 will be broadcasting a 3-hour show covering the finals night of the Country Music Awards on Saturday, December the 21st at 7 p.m. In Dunedin, The South Today.
After the break on The South Today, a group of young Central Otago pupils are digging environmental challenges, and we have a look at the weather heading into the weekend. See you soon.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Step into Shop on Carroll and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Thanks for staying with us. The Clyde School Enviro Group visited a cycling business in Clyde this week to present a donation box. They're hoping customers will pitch in to plant some native trees along the Central Otago Rail Trail.
Clyde School's Enviro Group are raising money for tree planting with 2 new donation boxes. The children are hoping customers will donate money, which they'll use to plant more native trees around Clyde and along the Otago Central Rail Trail.
So we're going to plant trees around the areas in Clyde and Alex where there is no trees at the moment. We came here last week to talk about what they're doing to offset their carbon footprint, and they're already doing quite a lot.
Director of Bike It Now, Lisa Joyce, says planting trees doesn't just absorb carbon, it also comes with an added bonus.
And then on the third side is what we want to see some more of is native birds in Central Otago, so the tuis. So they've made a really cool little box.
The kids at Clyde School say they're all pleased with the result.
So we're thinking that we could put it on the front counter so whenever people walk in and maybe buy something, then they can look at it and maybe decide to put some money into it.
Some of the pupils are no strangers to environmental work and kaitiaki.
Over the last few years that I've been doing Enviro Schools, we've been going over to Project Gold, which is like a place that we plant trees over the river track, and we go every few months.
People who donate to the cause will be doing their bit to reduce their carbon footprint while biking through beautiful Central Otago. In Clyde, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. The family of a teen stabbed to death by a Dunedin doctor say they'll have to move on from the double tragedy somehow. Otago Polytechnic arboriculture students celebrated the end of the year's studies by climbing New Zealand's tallest tree. And a couple of rowdy Dunedin bands recently teamed up to hold a gig to raise money for the Life Matters charity. Time now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's Otago Day Times. Welcome, Mr. Hayden Meikle.
Good evening, Daryl. How are you?
I'm good, mate. Yourself?
Very good. Very good. Lots happening. Another great paper tomorrow. Great news today for Invermay. So the centre out there near Mosgiel. Campaigners are basically overjoyed, declaring victory, I believe. There's been a long battle, obviously, to maintain jobs out there. Dr. David Clark in town today to say, yep, looks like certain segments of the operation are staying. Dozens of sort of leading scientific jobs will be staying in Invermay. So that's great for Invermay and great for Otago.
He was fighting for that when he was in opposition.
Quite fighting right through. So that's that's great news. That's a big story tomorrow. An interesting court story out of Invercargill. I mean, Invercargill's, it's been a busy few weeks down there, and this is a story involving the mongrel mob and methamphetamine. So there's an interesting mix, but a very, very interesting story there. And Balclutha, another great story. People might recall earlier this year a case of a couple who were extremely worried. The wife was going to be deported by Immigration New Zealand. She had some health conditions. They have today officially been granted full residency, which is a great load off that family's mind, which is excellent. But an education story, quite a high number of Otago and Southland schools were in financial difficulty last year. So we explore that with the schools and the ministry to see what's been going on and how schools can sort of avoid it. Clearly more on the Scamtha trial and the aftermath, and Rob Kidd, our very fine court reporter, has been working on another big read today about the doctor and I guess his sort of descent into alcoholism and now a murder charge. So it should be another fascinating if difficult read. Good news for Southland, PGF, Provincial Growth Fund announcement, some more money heading down that way for some engineering firms, which is great. And sport, have to have something in sport, of course, and there's a really great annual read in the sports pages tomorrow, catching up on kids who were in our Fast Lane series 10 years ago and what became of them. Jeff Cheshire's had a look at that. So always interesting to see how these kids coming through the ranks that are highly rated at 17, 18, if they kick on and achieve great things. So all that, lots more, and be a cracking Saturday paper to come after that too.
Excellent, thank you, Hayden. As you say, all that and more in the ODT. Time now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with this evening's southern view, looking toward the Auckland from Dunedin's CBD on a cruise ship day. Looking at the situation, plenty of sunshine for most tomorrow, but low cloud along the Otago coast may linger. More sunshine on the way for Sunday, it should be warmer as a northwesterly airflow develops. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport are set for cloudy skies, rain and 21 degrees. Across to the northeast, Nelson and Blenheim can both expect the odd cloud and 22. Heading down to Canterbury, you'll have cloudy skies across this area with rain for some. Kaikoura heads for 19. Christchurch, you're set for just a cloud or two and 17. And Ashburton, you should make it to 14 degrees and you should definitely expect showers as well. To the southern outlook, Balclutha and the Catlins can both expect moderate northeasterlies, some cloud and 15, while Lumsden and Gore are both due for light winds and 17 degrees. Heading to central Otago, Wanaka and Queenstown, you're both due for light winds, clear skies and 19 degrees. Alexandria, you're identical but heading for 20 degrees, while in Te Anau, you should plan for light winds and 16. To the northern towns, Timaru and Oamaru have variable winds and high cloud, Timaru 16 and Oamaru 15. Twizel and Omarama can both expect light winds and clear skies with 20 degrees. In Dunedin, southwesterlies freshening tonight with cloud increasing, looking for an overnight low of 9 degrees. Sunny periods at first tomorrow, but becoming mostly cloudy during the morning, with southwesterlies dying out and cool northeasterlies developing. A high of 14 and a low of 9. Mostly fine and sunny on Saturday, with fresh to strong breezy northeasterlies, a high of 15 and a low of 12. And in Invercargill, becoming fine tonight with an overnight low of 8 degrees,
Mostly fine and sunny tomorrow with light variable winds, a high of 16 and a low of 7. Warmer northwesterlies freshening on Saturday with light cloud increasing during the day, a high of 19 and a low of 12. And that's all from the South Today team for this Thursday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great evening. Tā kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.